Right, welcome to Tales from the PowerAge. Hope you're well. How you doing, guys? You good?
Yeah, good.
Good to see you. Right, if you've not seen us before, we cover pretty much rock and metal from the 80s and 90s. We do deviate slightly, not to do pop, but to do rock and metal from beyond those eras. And tonight we're taking you all the way back to 1987 and the rock festival, which used to be known as Reading Rock. I don't know if it was Reading Rock in 87, but even if it was, there were plenty of rock bands and metal bands playing on that day. We're going to tell you all about that in a few minutes because a couple of us were at that weekend. The other two were at something else, and we'll tell you about that a little bit later on in the podcast. Now, before we crack into this, please give us a sub, give us a like, get involved. Tell us if you were there in the comments, and if you weren't there, what were you doing? Were you at Notting Hill Carnival? I'd like to know. Just put it in the comments. And if you were there, who were your best band of the weekend? So this is a spread of acts over the 3 days. So we're going to pick out our picks over the 3 days because there were a few bands that, these guys didn't watch and we wouldn't be sharing on this podcast, frankly. So hope you get the idea of what we're doing. And then finally, before we move on, if you like what you see, hit the cheers button. You can buy us a drink and say thanks. We need all the help that we can get because I'm actually on the water tonight. Times are that hard. So if you can help us with some golden water, that would be lovely. I mean that in the nicest sense. Might need to cut that bit out then. Right, let's go on to 1987, Reading Rock. Gav, do you want to talk through some of the press ads first?
As usual, just thought I'd pull together some press ads, and for this occasion, there was loads of different ones as well.
So the Reading ones are always brilliant, aren't they? Really good.
You would think that it was just called Reading Festival, but later on, it's Reading Rock as well. So we decided to call it Reading Rock for the sake of this pod. So you've got the split by days in the middle and on the right, and you've got just like a jumble of everything that was playing over the weekend on the left. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. And then this was a leaflet, I think, that was given out at gigs beforehand. Gave you the rough running order, but it certainly wasn't the final running order. Georgia Satallites, for example, were a special guest slot for Quo. I think maybe they'd had a couple of hit singles in between being booked and getting the gig. I don't know. Anyway, we'll cover off all the rock bands of interest, in our opinion, over the Saturday and the Sunday of that bank holiday weekend.
Brilliant. Okay.
Just to say something there. The ticket's £25 for a weekend, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
And how much was the Donington ticket in 87?
£14, I think.
Yeah, so you're paying 14 for 1 day or 25 for 3 days.
Yeah.
Pretty good value, really.
They were also promoted by the Mean Fiddler Reading Rock, I believe, wasn't it? And that was part of the marquee. So this was very much this rock festival, Reading Rock, whatever you want to call it, was very much a there's a ticket there, Gav. This is very much many of the bands that came through the marquee of that era, I should say. So you'll notice quite a few of the bands that are playing this festival would have been playing the marquee in and around that time as well.
Like you said, Gaps, cost-wise, but don't forget the spread of genres that they carry.
Oh, yeah.
Meant that very rarely would there be someone going, right, good, I'm having 3 days.
No, absolutely. I mean, I only went on the Saturday. You went Saturday and Sunday, didn't you?
Oh, Friday, Saturday, I went for the whole weekend.
Oh, you went for the whole weekend?
Yeah, but it was more of an event. It was a weekend thing. And that's, I think, what the difference was as well. With Donington stepped up in 1979. It went, right, well, actually, we're one stage. We're 1 day. We're going to get the best of the metal. And it sort of tried to take over. And that left Reading Festival, in a tricky position because it still wanted the rock and the metal acts, but so it was an in-between time. And this year we were pleased because we were 17, 18 years of age. And it had been a little bit dodgy a couple of years before this for Reading. They hadn't managed to book the big rock and metal acts. We'd gone the year before 1986 because Saxon headlined, so we went just for the day on the Sunday. But I remember when this bill was being announced, a lot of the bands on here, they were our bands. They were the bands, like Dill said, that we would catch anyway, we were into. So we were really chuffed. And it was another outlet for us as the youth of the day. I knew I was going to go for the whole weekend because it was everything I wanted. It was no rules. It was booze. It was everything. No sleeping. No, just did whatever you wanted, and you had music as well. But it's quite a lineup across the 3 days. with the different genres. It's just strange. So, for instance, I went on the Friday. We went for the weekend. I didn't see any
I
bands.
bet you didn't see any band on Friday, did you?
No, we got there on the bus. There was me, Scouse and Hugh, a couple of lads we were at college with. We went straight to Sainsbury's. We got a trolley full of cheap lager. We stacked up the orange cans of cheap Sainsbury's lager, at least a case each. We went and got we partied for the whole of the Friday, ready for Saturday. It was great. It was a really great atmosphere, beautiful time with loads of really lovely people just chilling out. A medium-sized 30,000 people festival.
Yeah.
What more did you want?
Go on. I was just going to say Friday night was goth night, clearly.
Yeah.
Which, you think back to college in those days, there were two camps. You were either in the goth camp or the metal camp. And
never the twain will meet.
Well, do you know what? It just showed how well, to your point, Jam, those two genres of music and the people that followed it actually got on together, didn't they?
Yeah, it's cool. It was really great time. It's really chilled. No, it wasn't a sniff of hassle or trouble or anything like that. It was just great. It's great fun. There was often quite a large police presence around and about with Reading, but it was great. There was no trouble at all. It was really good.
That's nothing to do with the festival.
No.
No, just Reading itself.
Reading, full stop. Yeah, you were going to make a point.
Only that it's relatively local to us at the time, which was another tick in a box. You could drive it. You could get a bus. One year, me and some friends put out the old windswept thumb to get as far as High Wycombe, and then we got the bus from there. So it was doable, much more than Donington was as far as ease of transport.
Yeah, you're right.
That was handy.
And it was right in the centre as well. That's the whole thing. It's right in the centre of the city, pretty much. I've caught a taxi there before, back in the day, from our pub, because we were bored and we decided to go to Reading. So there you go. So should we have a look at some of these photos? So, Jam, giving your starring role in some of that.
Oh, initially, it's a terrible camera work, but that's me just sat there in my denim jacket and my Iron Maiden t-shirt on the left-hand side.
Looking really happy.
Yeah,
I think I was feeling poorly. I think that was probably on the Sunday. I was tired. One of the lads took a picture, obviously, and I was absolutely hanging. But the other one on the right-hand side, again, it's the weirdest of tents. That's Hugh and Scouse. And Hugh, always as bright as a button, bless him. I messaged him, he said, yeah, we weren't feeling well on the Sunday. He thinks we overdid it on the Friday and the Saturday.
It's like a massive bee's nest, that tent.
Yeah, there were some weird, wacky ideas there, but it was just great. It was really cool, really, really, really great time. But nothing comparing to the day the boys on their day out there. Gaps, can you talk us through that one?
Yeah, I mean Gary drove. That's his marina. Jolsey also had a marina. It was grey, but we went in. Gary was designated driver that day, and I remember we got some very cheap cans of lager for the car. And then we got near Reading and we pulled up at this newsagent, and we walked in and it was selling papers and fags, and he had a lager pump on his counter, and we actually purchased 5 litres of lager each. Well, Gary didn't have one, by the way; he was driving. But all us three, the other three, 5 litres of lager as a 17-year-old, and that was going to be my first and only Reading, but the very first time I was actually going to be consuming large amounts of alcohol at a gig of any sort.
You'd certainly gone. That's for you. Is that in the double denim?
Yeah, double denim. Yeah,
double denim. And have you got cramp in your hands there? What's that all about?
No, I'm just doing a little bit of air guitar. There must have been some metal on the radio. I got my mirror shades on as well.
Of course you have. Brilliant.
Anyway, that's the photos with a nice bit of Reading Festival in the background.
And a nice wave from Shane as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's waving. He's pointing at the sun. So should we go to the program and ticket?
Yeah, just self-explanatory. I don't suppose any of you guys got the program, did you?
Not for a moment.
No. So the one I was waving around was from the year before, which was Saxon. So we might get to that another time because that was a good lineup.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the merch.
And some of the merch, I kind of remember this because I think I've seen it in real life, but it's trying to be a baseball shirt, I think.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. But my earlier point, Reading rocks on there, not Reading Festival. So
yeah, because they know who's going to buy the t-shirt. Let's face it, the goths aren't going to buy that, are they?
No.
No.
Sorry.
No, I would never have bought a white T-shirt back then either.
That was going for a certain type of person that was there that weekend, and it certainly wasn't the Friday crowd. So there's a little bit more merch.
Yeah, just similar sort of themes, just very, 2-color, 3-color kind of designs you used to get back in the day. Kind of still appeals in a retro sort of way to my tiny brain, but it's nice.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
I like that guitar one with the lightning. That's really quite good.
I like all that. It's great.
Yeah, I like the backup with the red and the blue as well. It's very
And
cool.
That on the back, I really love that. And again, with the they've got 3 decent headliners, and it's the first time I think in a few years they'd had 3 bang on headliners to actually up the numbers. It did them really well. They're getting those headliners in early doors as well. I think a lot of bands then said, yeah, well, if they're doing it, we can slip in under them. So that's really good.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So that's the merch. Let's get on to the bands, shall we? And we took a selection of the bands for the weekends. We're not covering everybody. Otherwise, we'd be here for about 4 hours talking through. Well, we wouldn't, because most of these bands the guys wouldn't have seen. But let's kick off with
they are jammed to your point. Look in the background, 2 stages. You can see them quite clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, any memories of this, boys?
Well, it's the first band I saw. I remember that, and I don't know how recently they changed their name, because they used to be called the Quireboys, and
just before this, I think.
Was it? And I spent my entire time watching them shouting Quireboys at them. I really didn't like them.
Really mature, grown up, sort of.
Yeah, of course. They weren't for me. They never have been. So yeah, wasn't for me, this lot.
No, but
but we did watch them. So
yeah, I liked them. I've always liked them. Look at that. It's a great set. It's just easy, isn't it? And you come 7 awesome songs, then you're done. Early-ish. No, but I liked them. They were decent. Yeah. And as you say, that was the confusion. There was a lot of talk about how do you say their name? Is it Quit? Because there wasn't obviously there wasn't internet or anything. You really didn't know. And even you just, are they what's that all about? Quireboys? What is it? So yeah, there was a lot of talk. But no, they were really good. Liked them.
And for those of you who don't know anything about the Quireboys, you've got, that's nice, Gav. Did that come with your 12-inch?
No, I nicked it from the store.
That's really
as you do.
This is my 12-inch is signed by the band, including Ginger. And for those of you who don't know, Ginger Wildheart used to be in the Quireboys, as did Nigel Mogg, who is related, of course, to tell us in the comments. There aren't many Moggs that are famous in rock.
No.
We'll get it quite easily.
Nephew, I think.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's go on to before we do that, a couple of those songs made its way onto the album, didn't they? Which wasn't released till a few years later. So they were still on independent label, weren't they, at that time? Until they went to
they were on not Safari, Survival.
Yeah.
So which one's made the album? 7 O'Clock, Party, and Hey You.
Yeah. She's quite cool. Yeah, really cool. They've been playing, and actually, if anyone went to the Marquee in and around that time, they were at the Marquee all the time. So they were brilliant. Yeah,
we actually saw them that year, I think.
Yeah. Cool, excellent. Let's go on to the next band. So, Gaps, any memories of Terraplane?
No, none for me. No, not a single one, unfortunately.
Jam. I know Jam would have. Go on.
Well, we really liked Terraplane, and everyone that's watched this knows this is the precursor. This is what came before Thunder. And one of the most annoying things I think ever for Gav and I, especially, was that these didn't come to anything because we loved them. We really liked them. I famously bought a double 7-inch single, if you remember, Gav, from
which I still haven't got.
I have. I've got it. Which I've got that as well. Which I got from Venus Records in High Wycombe, and I really liked them. I don't remember. I don't remember a hell of a lot about it, but they did a few covers, didn't they? River Deep, Mountain High. Mm-hmm. They did all the ones that I knew. I'll come out fighting. Some decent ones in there, but it's just remarkable that they just couldn't.
Remarkable. They did 13 songs.
Yeah.
Considering how many bands were on that day.
I'm thinking they might, because as Jan mentioned, all these covers. I'm thinking they might have just done little. Yeah,
you touch it. They didn't do. They didn't have a massive long set. They just touched in with Twist and Shout or something like that. But but to think that they just couldn't break through. But I always like to think in life, without this, Thunder wouldn't have burst on. They wouldn't have had all that wisdom and knowledge. They seemed such the most amazing debut back when Thunder first smashed it out of the park at Donington and everything.
So that was their first proper album, and this was after that. This was when they were being shaped even more wrongly into a pop band, as evidenced by this picture.
Yeah,
it was just wrong for them.
Yeah.
And so much so to my lasting, well, not regret, probably the right decision. I bought that because it was their single off the new album. I never bought the new album because that's what it was like. It was like, I don't like your style and I don't like music anymore.
But have we seen them previously at Wickham Live Aid?
No,
they weren't there.
I don't think.
I could have sworn they were there.
But the voice was so good.
What we're talking about.
Yeah,
so it was kind of end of their era, wasn't it? But obviously the beginning of something way better.
Yeah, exactly. So sounds good.
So teenage lads, what more do you want than a bit of something from Canada?
Yeah,
and these boys you used to talk about Lee Aaron
constantly.
Yeah,
I wonder why.
To be fair, I don't know why.
Anyways, what do you remember from this one, Jam?
Oh, she was amazing. She was brilliant. I thought she was amazing. The hormones are flying around big time. 17 years old, for Christ's sake. She's down the front. One thing I don't know if we touched on, but it was a lot more relaxed than what we were used to, because Donington Monsters Rock was, 86, we all know what happened. It was very full. It was very packed. It was very busy. Reading was a bit more relaxed. I think the numbers wise, there was like 30,000 people at Reading. So a lot less people. You didn't have all the crushing, and you didn't have the stress or thinking, am I going to make it? Am I going to make it out of it? It didn't get like that. It was just really great. And we could easily find each other down the front. So we're very, very much down the front for this. And she was fantastic. She was really good. She's got a smashing, say what you like. She's got a brilliant voice.
Brilliant voice.
She rocks, basically. I've seen clips recently. She rocks now.
It's on YouTube, isn't it? I think the whole show's on YouTube, isn't it?
Very much of an age. It was very 80s.
Yes, it's very.
But it was singing is fantastic, and the guys playing all the instruments were absolutely brilliant as well. Yeah, really good.
Delightful and hot.
Pictures all over my wall of this woman, and rightly so, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
She was amazing. Great.
Well, we
with an
got into her through
angelic voice.
We got into her through ECT, didn't we? In '85, because she did 3 songs. I think "Hot to Be Rocked" was one of them.
Yeah, it was.
That's a great song.
That's twice.
Yeah.
So that's that top and tailed. It started. It top and tailed Danger Zone, Evil Game, and then it came out on Hot to Be Rocked. So it's just one track for the encore Metal Queen. But no, she was gorgeous as well. She helped. She was the pin-up.
Beautiful.
And that had been quite some time. She'd been ruling Kerrang for a long time. Every year, number one pick. They do the charts. It'd always be number one. They are, and so fair play. But she was.
I never saw her again. I don't know if any of you boys ever saw her again, but I did.
I don't recall. I don't think I did.
She didn't support anyone. She was the kind of person.
Not that I remember.
No, we'll have to go through the old vaults and see. That's a good question.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, let us know if you were there. Keeping the international feel, we had Vow Wow. And these were great. They made some great songs. So
the
album's brilliant. The one that's
Gavin and I saw these. I don't know if we saw them before this, Gavin, your story, or after this, but it would have been that year, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I saw him after this. I didn't see him on because I wasn't there on a Sunday. Jam was
I didn't catch him on the Sunday because I was screwed up from the day before. It was a tricky day. It was one of the bands I wanted to see, and I couldn't. So there were some I did see on the Sunday. This wasn't one I made it to, which is a bloody shame. But it is what it is.
They were really good when I saw them. I think it was 88 in Oxford.
Yeah.
Have you got the little leaflet inside?
Do you know what? I was just going to look at. I've got the inner cover. That one.
I got that inside. I just realised.
Oh, I think I might actually.
I don't know if mine's got that.
No, I didn't know I had it until today.
I just played a lot.
Well played, classic.
Yeah.
Our interest was Neil Murray as well. They helped us get into it.
Brilliant. Okay, that's Vow Wow. They're good. There's a couple of great videos that they used to have on MTV as well. So if you've never heard of them, go and check them out.
And of course, Neil Murray had played the previous day with MGM.
Yeah.
which we've spoken about.
Yeah.
Well, we saw them the year before, didn't we? We saw them
At the Dolly.
December at the Dolly in Oxford, which holds about 50 people.
50
Tiny people like this.
And when we were playing in bands, we still couldn't sell it out. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get on to the next band. We used to love these guys, and we'd seen them loads around this time as well.
Yeah.
So, was it just you there on the Sunday, Jam? Is that what?
Yeah, I was there with a couple of mates. Yeah, and I did take FM because we loved them. We loved FM. When I was preparing for this, I was trying to think when we'd seen them and we'd seen them support. We'd seen them so much. We'd seen them in their own right, and they got all the support slots with Gary Moore, for Magnum, yeah. I think someone else, but I can't recall. But we saw them as well play. But what a set! I was so chuffed. 7 indiscreet songs plus Let Love Be the Leader. I don't know if you remember this, Gab, but whenever we saw them, I'd always be, if they play Let Love Be the Leader, I'm going to love it. Because they
used to be our favourite, but still is my favourite, actually.
Yeah. We bought the. Do you remember the Let Love Be the Leader single? It was like a little box set single. Was that?
Yeah, I got the 12-inch.
Okay, it's great. It's a great song. So yeah, indiscreet plus that. It's just really, really good.
Plus, like Lovers Do, which they only played a couple of times.
Yeah, was that from Tough? Where's that from? Is that from Tough?
They just played it and then didn't play it again.
Oh, okay.
It's not a bad song. It's just that's on YouTube as well. But just that one song.
Okay.
But it's okay. I don't know why they didn't record it. But so this was the long gap between the first album and Tough It Out, where they kind of changed record label and they went to America to record it. And this was in between.
But you can see they clearly are backing because that's a huge backdrop.
Yeah.
For a band of that size at the time.
Yeah,
that's massive. So they clearly someone was bleeding them at the time. And if you see Merv Goldsworthy recently, he doesn't look any different to what he did in 1987.
He'll be pleased to hear you say that.
Yes.
Yeah, he looks great still, doesn't he? His hair's a bit shorter, but he looks fantastic. Well,
we think they played the year before as well, didn't we? We were chatting. I think they might have been on the day when we went with Saxon. So interesting, they got called back. But yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Okay, we love a bit of FM, and do you know what? We all love these guys as well, and we don't love them because they're an absolute metal band, but these were part of our childhood. So as we grew up, the comic strip being a big part of that, being a big part of our lives, Blackadder, etc. These all had big parts in all of that stuff and the comedy that we're involved with. Anyway, for those of you that don't know, these were a spoof rock band, and we'd seen them the year before at Donington and Iron Maiden as well. So this was on the Saturday. So Gappy and Jam was there. So Jam, can you remember anything from this?
I struggled because I really loved that record. I listened to so much, and we were too young really for Spinal Tap and all that sort of stuff. This was our Spinal Tap, and it's been done by the comedians that I loved, because Aid Edmondson and Rick Mail and the whole Comic Strip Presents UK comedy of that time was hilarious. But it was also hilarious because your parents wouldn't necessarily want you watching it.
Yeah.
It was decent. And then when they did a bad news program, then they redid it to then, I think, really for Aid to be able to go on and play Donington and festivals and stuff, for him to live a dream. And I did like that. I did like some of the Drink Till I Die. I love that song. It's one of my favourites. I know every word. And catch me, start singing that. I'll join you and I'll sing the whole thing with you immediately. It's brilliant. This was a bit chaotic. This occasion I saw him was like no other. So I saw him a few times, as you said. I just remember it being really messy. They didn't play Drink Till I Die, which I really loved.
Stage is certainly messy.
Yeah, look at the stage.
David,
it went down very well.
Loads of people.
I'd love to know when. Sorry, Jam. I'd love to know when Brian actually came on stage. If everyone actually stopped throwing bottles, because I certainly can't remember. But he's got his big coat on just in case they do. Look.
Loads of musical purists, call whatever you like, that didn't like comedy or didn't like the crossing over and didn't like a band taking.
Oh yeah, loads of the older crowd really.
Yeah, there were people like that, and then there was a lot of people that vociferously wanted to actually cover them in piss and crap or whatever. And then there were some that were just like, oh yeah, what's this old pony? So they only did those few songs, but I did listen to this the other day to remind myself. And they still did. They had like half an hour, but there was a lot of farsing around. They were mucking about.
Blimey.
Rick was mucking about, and Brian kept. There was so much stuff going on. I mean, it's just amazing, and it sounds pretty bloody mess. I mean, when you talk about nowadays with backing tracks and stuff, I don't think there was much.
No backing tracks are allowed on this.
Backing tracks happening, but amazing that Brian May would associate himself with that. I mean, he did produce it, didn't he?
He produced the album.
Yeah.
He's got a sense of humour, jamming.
Exactly.
Oh no, but to go on stage
Yeah,
at Reading,
that's amazing.
get that sort of crap thrown. Yeah. I loved them. I always enjoyed them.
He wouldn't have had that before, would he?
No.
Yeah, if anyone else was there and can remember whether the bottling was still going on when Brian was on stage, I'd love to find out, because I very much doubt it did, to be fair.
No, I don't recall, but I remember a lot of stuff early doors, especially during the hey bad news bit.
Yeah, I love Hey Hey Bad News. It's a great song. Hey Hey! Instead of what the crowd actually was singing.
Warriors of Genghis Khan. It's an absolute genius.
I'm a warrior
of Genghis Khan. We were talking the other day. There's a band that's done a song just like Warriors of Genghis Khan. Who was that we were talking about? Maybe we shouldn't be. There's a band that's almost identical.
Yeah.
Right. It's Riot. There's a song from Riot, isn't it? It's just like Warriors of Genghis Khan.
I think you might be right.
Warriors of Genghis Khan's just like Riot, I should say.
That way round.
Yeah. Sorry, Riot.
You've
Okay.
got to look mean.
Decent.
Okay, that's bad news. Let's go another one of our podcast favourite bands.
Yeah.
So this was a Saturday night, and what the hell is that on stage? And I'm not talking about Bob Catley.
It's not on stage. It's just in the that was taken from the program.
Hey, great.
It's a unicorn.
It's the unicorn.
Magnum
Come
was
on.
that big. They actually had their own unicorn.
They had their own unicorn, yeah.
That's how big they were.
And a unicorn roadie.
Brilliant. Okay, well, any memories from this set?
Well, they were brilliant. Starting off with Vigilante, which is probably my favourite Magnum song of all time, especially live. Absolutely amazing. And of course, we'd seen them, I don't know, it was probably the 10th or 11th time I'd seen them by this time. And they were just blew me away as normal. Absolutely love Magnum in this period. A couple of songs that I'm not too liking. I mean, Don't Wait the Line, I'm not a massive fan of. And When the World Comes Down as an ender, doesn't really do it. I should have ended just like an arrow, but still some great songs on there. Bob was amazing. Tony's always amazing. Yeah, brilliant.
Cav, are these pictures from that set, or are these random live photos?
No, they are. They're just grabbed from what little resources there are out there.
Because it was so dark, right? And they weren't the headline. They weren't the last band on, were they?
No.
Look how dark
No,
is it?
not at all. No.
Yeah,
There were three from the end.
Yeah, really interesting how dark it was.
Yeah, because what you were saying before, Georgia Satallites got moved above them, didn't they?
Yeah. The reason they've got little asterisks is because they're from the album that isn't out yet.
Yeah.
Days of No Trust and Don't Wait the Line. So you would have been subjected to a very long song.
Brave decision to play a 10-minute song in kind of the middle of your set that nobody knows.
I think it's probably, considering how many times we'd seen them, this could well be the last time I saw them, to be honest. But I remember when we saw them, when we'd started seeing them just a few years before, at Dunstable, Queensway Hall and St Albans and God knows where we were seeing them. They're high up on the bill on the Saturday at Reading. I know, but you feel, but you know, it's all like with rock. Yeah. You take to a band, and you did, Gav, especially, and you Gaps as well with Magnum. But you were so keen. You followed them so deeply with your t-shirts and everything, and you felt a massive pride, especially at festivals, surge of pride. When you've got like it's one of your bands, and they're right up there. Do you know, they're right absolutely. Up there.
That's 3 or 4 years since we first saw them in those little venues.
Yeah. That's how it felt for me, I think, because I loved the Vigilante album. I thought it was brilliant. They played Backstreet Kid. I remember Flotty doing his nuts. It was always a friend of the pod, Flotty. It's always been his favourite track. He loved that track. Just Like an Hour. They picked decent songs, as you said. We've discussed this before. They often finish with a L'amour dansant or When the World Comes Down, and just to that chill vibe. But otherwise, they had all the other decent ones there. They were really, really good. And yeah, paying to 30,000 people. It's pretty bloody cool. It's pretty cool when you see them in front of a couple of hundred.
Yeah, having hit singles.
Yeah, smashed it
We're
really
about
well.
to have even bigger hit singles.
Yeah.
Cool.
We've done a Magnum pod if anyone's interested. So we'll.
George, check it out. And a tribute to Tony as well.
This was a real positive, real big.
He's looking at that horse with a hat on with disdain, thinking, "What on earth am I doing in this photo?" Maybe
He certainly is.
I think he is. Anyway, let's go to the next band, who were Georgia Satallites, and this was on the Saturday as well. So these were on after Magnum. So any memories from these guys?
I only really remember Battleship Chains because I actually really liked that song at the time, and I was waiting for them to play it, and then they played it, and it was excellent. But Gav's reminded me since that they did Keep Your Hands to Yourself, which is the other single that we all know and that anyone who listens to Planet Rock will know, which is also a brilliant song. Didn't really know any of the others and wasn't really my scene, but they were pretty good. But I didn't think that probably at the time. I thought, what on earth are these guys doing on above Magnum, to be honest with you?
Yeah. But I remember at the time, you're happy because you don't want Magnum, then straight into Quo. It's truth. You want to get a drink, you want to have a...
That's very true.
It worked really well. And I think that's why it did work well for the whole of the Saturday, because there were so many bands that we did want to see and did see that you can't just have every band because but I remember hearing them. I wasn't down the front for these. I think we'd gone back, got drinks in, go to the loo and stuff. But they went down really well. They did go down really well. And I've been yeah. And that's a good record. And yeah, as you said, Battleship Ships, it's a cracking tune, Battleship Chains. Brilliant.
Yeah, they did something a little bit different, didn't they? I know it's a bit southern rock, but they had a bit of a vibe, and they did probably link in quite well with Quo, I guess.
Yeah, and I think if I had listened to their records, I think I'd have really liked them. I really do. I think it's a band that I would have liked, and they didn't get any, from what I can remember, they didn't get any grief or any abuse or anything. They were decent.
No, they didn't get any.
Band, and they came out, did the biz, and set us all up ready for the main event. But no, they were really good.
3 years.
They were a really good live band, judging from what I've heard on YouTube. And the singer was really loving the fact that they were going down well.
Yeah,
he was really giving the crowd compliments and stuff. It was cool.
Yeah, they were a good live band. 3 years later, Rick from the band, after I'd seen them in Birmingham, came back to my birthday party at our student digs. Can't tell you any more about that. That's all I can share with you. So we can't even do another podcast.
Leave it to your imagination.
Leave it right there. So that's Georgia Satallites, and let's get on to Alice on the Sunday. So Jam,
Sunday headliner,
yeah, it's just for Jam. But I was gutted I missed Alice because Raise Your Fist in the Air was my favourite Alice Cooper album. Well, certainly was up to that point.
Yeah,
it's a brilliant record.
Alice Cooper was pretty new to me because I wasn't really into the whole. I had this great. Everyone's got this, I think, in there because you can pick up for £1 or something at any record fair. I was never really into Alice Cooper. He wasn't metal as such. He was 70s sort of rock, wasn't he? But that Constrictor record, when this came out in 86, I think it was 86, it's absolutely brilliant. And I loved it. And it was just everything about it I loved. And I went and saw him. I saw him at Wembley Arena in December 86, and he was superb. He did the same set, which interestingly enough, so he's obviously still on the same cycle, still on the same tour. Did the same set here. Because when I saw this set, I thought that it looks a lot like, and I checked it out. It's just brilliant. Everything about Alice Cooper. It's just so good. The band are tight. He had the songs, and because it's like he'd stepped into our world, like into the 80s hair metalish type world. It added Give It Up's brilliant. The World Needs Guts. It added some songs into there rather than just the older stuff. And the theatrics that he brings to the party. Dill caught him, Alice Cooper, with Priest, 2025, and doing exactly the same. How many years is that later? 40 years later.
Yeah.
But the guillotine, chopping heads off, killing people. It sounds weird to just say this.
It is funny though, isn't
It's
it?
the ultimate showman, isn't it?
Murdering people on stage and having it, going under the guillotine. But when you look at the set list, still very similar. So as it was,
it's hard to, unless you've seen Alice Cooper live, it's hard to explain some of the way it works, but it's just great. It's great fun. The music's, he's always got great music. The band's always full of really decent musicians, really good. And he smashed it out of the park. It's bloody brilliant. And to have a festival where you've actually brought that, especially a Reading Rock, to actually bring all of the production, to bring the show, I don't think that's a thing that often happened at Reading Rock. From what I can gather, people can tell me that went to more Reading Rock festivals. It was more a case of you get out there, balls to the wall, play your set, you know what I mean? Yeah, spit and sawdust. But he bought the whole thing.
Well, he probably wouldn't do it unless he was allowed to do that, would he?
Exactly. Yeah. And it was brilliant. I think that was a really good move from Reading Rock Festival to say, right, let's get this guy. That would have put a hell of a lot on the numbers for the ticket sales. Alice Sunday at Reading. Yeah, brilliant.
Okay, good. That's Alice. So let's go on to the main course, or the headline act of the weekend. And it was, of course, the mighty Quo. So there's a lot of, again, talking about classic set lists. They delivered that in spades in their set lists, all the stuff you want to hear, right? Of course, their huge hit, which I've never really been a big fan of. I know Flotty absolutely loves it, but it's
Flotty's favourite Quo song of all time in the army now.
Yeah, unbelievable. Anyway, what were memories from that?
Well, I polished off my 5 litres of lager by this point, probably quite a lot earlier actually, and I had that splitting headache, which I was really annoyed about because I was so looking forward to seeing Quo, but I had to sort of sit at the back and just really chill out and watch them from there. I didn't go down the front. I was just sitting down watching them, but they played some of my favourites, Roll Over, Lay Down being one of them. Don't Drive My Car, which doesn't get much of an airing, but I love that song.
Great Rick
Hold
song.
Your Back, great song. Don't Waste My Time. And I love Bye Bye Johnny at the end. Superb song to end on.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Didn't play Big Fat Mama though, unfortunately. Which is another one of my favourites.
We always have to disagree about Bye Bye Johnny, don't we? Because I think it's toilet, as is Roadhouse Blues.
Oh yeah, well we certainly agree on that.
When I was looking at this, I thought, it's great to see. I love Quo. I love Status Quo. The first band I properly got into as a child. I just adored them. And of course, it was the end of the road. They finished. They stopped, didn't they, in '84? End of the road tour. No more. Never again. Till Live Aid a year later, and they're opening up in front of the whole world. And they're like, actually, do people want us? To then go and support Queen at Wembley Stadium when we've got a great pod about that. We're able to catch Quo. And it's like, wow, hold on. And then the following year, they're headlining Reading Rock. Brilliant. Saturday night, you couldn't want anything more. And this is before they started doing what people might class as awful songs, like your Burning Bridges and...
Which is great, by the way.
Old Rag Blues and The
Also
Wanderer.
Good.
The Wanderer.
No, I'm not a massive Wanderer fan.
Mess of Blues.
Brilliant song.
Lots of different awful songs.
Come On You Reds.
And then exactly that. And then I saw Dreaming. I went, they had one or two still. But the rest of the set's brilliant. Everything about it. You mentioned friend of the pod, Flotty, we keep mentioning, but in the army now, you've got to see it live. You've got to be in there, be in it, see it live.
That medley should be called Milton Keynes medley.
It should actually, shouldn't it?
Brilliant.
It should be. But in the army now was amazing, and it was great down the front because Quo. Anyone here that's seen Quo and has been down the front of any gig for Quo, you're in for 2 hours of literal jumping up and down. You're literally, if you've got a headache, that ain't no place for you.
No.
Again, it was a totally safe space. This is the thing I remember overridingly about this. That it felt so safe.
It just felt empty, didn't it? Compared to Donington and.
Yeah, and you just had room to totally and utterly party. It was great because it meant we could all keep seeing each other in amongst dancing with all the people that we'd met. But it was great. And in the army now was amazing. I remember the red lights. It was just honestly, this was the best I'd seen that song. It was just so atmospheric and went down a storm.
People love it. People love that song.
Yeah, live. It's
not even written by them, is it?
No, it's cover by some. I don't know, some Norwegian band or something. But no, it is brilliant live, and everything about the set, they were superb, and they really brought it home. I remember afterwards, because we'd had a lot to drink during it's been a long day, but that just sort of brings you to your sense. And they went off, and I remember you guys obviously all went home, and I went back to my camp, and it'd been a long day, and Hugh and the scouts were both asleep, and I was just, you just like the buzzing situation. I was just like buzzing. So I remember because I managed to light a fire, and I couldn't put it out. And there's a lot of fires at Reading. They didn't have rules like they had anywhere else. There was a lot of fires. There was a lot of fire towers watching out for fires. And every morning you'd walk along to the next gig and you go, shit, you see all the different tents that burnt down. Oh God! But I remember trying to put my fire out, and I couldn't. I tried throwing water on it, and it just burnt my leg and stuff. I was probably a bit drunk. I had to actually throw my metal denim jacket on it to make it go out.
What?
Yeah, and it's fine. It put it out, but I forever had a load of burn marks on the inside of my metal denim from Reading.
Classic.
Anyway,
You should probably pour some of that
Remind you evermore.
Castlemaine 4X that you were drinking, because
I was
that
gonna say, you could have recycled all the lager into a useful jet.
but yeah,
I'm sure he tried that, but was neglecting
great-
to mention it.
it was a great ending to that Saturday. I can't speak highly enough about Quo. Brilliant.
All right. Well, the thing is about Quo, it doesn't matter how the size of the audience, they still give it 110%. I took my daughter to go and see Quo on her first gig. It was at Hatfield House. There was probably about 3,000 there. Most people deck chairs and stuff. And she still talks about it now. And there was there were three guys, a family, one small kid with his long hair, the older uncle or cousin, and then the dad. And they were all, she never forgets, let's put down on, because they were doing all the moves. It was classic. It was absolutely brilliant. So
but we've got a great couple of songs on the live channel from Vivery Park, which looks like it has turned out to be their final electric shows, the final show in 2024. So check that out. It's Caroline. It's really, really good. It's worth a look.
The health warning is no one's had more comebacks than Status Quo, so you never know. Never say
That's why I said you don't know.
Yeah, you never
if
know.
you're watching this in 2029, you know they could still be back.
Okay, so it's definitely still a rock metal festival, and that can be attested through the article in Kerrang. So, Gav?
I forgot about that.
So,
Yeah, there was quite a few pages actually. I could only find this one, but I do remember
Funnily
that. This one stands in my mind because of Magnum.
Yeah. Don't bother putting a headliner in the main shot.
Where's
We'll
Magnum?
put Lee Aaron in the main shot.
Oh yeah, Magnum there. So I hadn't looked at that.
So yeah, worth a look for anyone that was interested.
Yeah,
We'll just leave it there.
Very good. Okay, so that was Reading Rock 87. So two of us were at that and two of us weren't. So Gav, what was going on with the other half of this quartet?
Well, sir, me and you decided it'd be a good idea to go to foreign shores to see another version of Monsters of Rock. So we went to Germany, Pforzheim to be precise. They switched out headliners. They generally have different bands on at different venues, but they call it Monsters of Rock. So we were blessed with Deep Purple. But we're thinking we'll probably do this as a separate ep. But as a vindication for me and Dill not being at Reading, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, it was cool.
More information
to tell you about that one. We've got lots of photos of that little trip as well. So
some of which we'll share.
Yes.
But not being funny, without a doubt, you would have been there's no way you would have missed that Reading Festival. You wouldn't have missed that.
No,
way.
you wouldn't.
Either of you. That's why it's a weird one. Anyone watching this until then is like, what?
It was weird, yeah, because I wouldn't miss Magnum. I'd seen them twice that year anyway, but you know, just
we went for Metallica.
Yeah,
that's why we went.
Yeah.
We were mad keen on seeing Metallica, and we'll tell you all about that because there were some funny stories from that as well.
But when I spoke to Hugh, one of the chaps I went with, I said, "Oh, what do you remember for?" He said, "Yeah, Sunday we were hungover." I went, "Yeah, I remember that." He said, "We spent a lot of our downtime we spent saying, can't believe those lucky people, those two have gone to bloody Germany. We're here watching these." It's like, okay. In fact, he remembers that from 40 years later. It's absolute class.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, of course, because being in Germany at the time, it was like being it's like being in Saint-Tropez, wasn't it, compared to Reading? So we were very cosmopolitan, making our way over there. Trust me, the coach trip, and we'll tell you about it on another way.
You were in our thoughts anyway, kinda.
Funny.
You weren't in ours.
No. I don't remember that at all. I was just drinking.
Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. As Jam's already mentioned, we've got a live channel and we've got a whole bunch of stuff on there. So there are videos from Status Quo, their last electric gig, which was down in Somerset, wasn't it? So not a venue I've been to before, but it was brilliant. So check that out. It's really, really cool. There are Alice Cooper videos on there as well with Johnny Depp, who joined them at the O2 when they were sort of co-headlining with Judas Priest. So that's definitely worth a watch. As well as Priest, there's Maiden. We've got all sorts of stuff on there. So check it out. And we, as you can see by the rubber stamped, we are the #1 in rock and metal channel. But look, check it out. It's really good. This channel is pushing 3 million views now. So it's generating a lot of interest. So check it out and give that a sub too, because it is a separate channel to this one. And if your friends are sub to that one, get them to sub to this one. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. If you want to see what we're up to on Tales from the PowerAge on Facebook, we're on X, on TFTPA, we're on Bluesky, we're on Instagram on Tales from the PowerAge. You can buy merch if you want to as well. For all of our wonderful brethren that have bought merch already, thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. And if you want to find out a little bit more about us as a group, we've known each other over 40 years. This rate is going to be nearly 50 years, the rate we're going through the years. But anyway, you can do that on www.talesonthepowerage.com. So there you go. That's Reading Rock. Sorry for all the goths that were tuning into this, waiting for a bit of Fields and Netflix or The Mission. Maybe another time. It wasn't really our bag. So we've just completely blindsided them, and we've not given them a second thought. So really apologise if you... Well, actually, we don't apologise because you've given us an extra view, which is awesome. But anyway, either way, I'm sure there's something on here for you. Give us a sub, ring the house bell, and look out for the next one. See you soon. Cheers, guys. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers.
See you later.
Oh, I love that. That was a brilliant one, dude. Well done, mate. That was superb. In fact, I remember more about the journey there than I do about the actual fucking gig.